Hey there! Welcome to my channel. I am going to teach you the Marxist approach to international relations in under 60 seconds so that you can sound smart when people bring up the topic. Okay, let's go. The Marxist approach to international relations is all about power, inequality, and, well, the struggle between those who have the power and those who don't. Marxists believe that the way we should view international relations is through the lens of capitalism, and how it creates these huge disparities between rich and poor, both within and between nations. So for Marxists, the main actors in international relations are not states, but rather the economic systems and the people who benefit from them. For example, a Marxist might argue that the North American Free Trade Agreement, also known as NAFTA, which was an agreement between Canada, the United States, and Mexico, was actually a bad deal for most people, because it led to job losses in manufacturing and a widening gap between the rich and the poor. Okay, now let's talk about some key concepts. First, we have imperialism, which is when a powerful state takes advantage of other less powerful states. For example, a Marxist might argue that the United States has too much control over the government of Mexico. Second, we have dependency theory, which is the idea that poor countries are economically dependent on rich countries. So, for example, a Marxist might argue that the reason that some countries are so wealthy is because they were able to take advantage of cheap labor and resources in other countries. Third, we have world systems theory, which argues that the world economy is divided into three: the core, the periphery, and the semi. The core are the wealthy, industrialized countries like the United States and Japan. The periphery are the poor, resource-rich countries like Mexico and Brazil. And the semi-periphery are countries that are in between, like China and India. Okay, now let's talk about some important thinkers. Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels are the big names here, and their ideas are still being debated and discussed today. And finally, let's talk about some criticisms of this approach. One is that it is too focused on economics and doesn't give enough attention to things like culture and identity. For example, a Marxist might argue that one of the main reasons for the conflict in the Middle East is the struggle between rich and poor. But a critic might argue that this is a simplistic view and that there are other important factors at play, such as religion and ethnicity. Another criticism is that it's deterministic, meaning that it leaves little room for free will or the ability to change things. If the economic system is the main thing that determines how states behave, then it's hard to see how anything can change. Okay, that's the Marxist approach to international relations. In a nutshell, if you want to learn more about this topic, check out the additional resources, and don't forget to subscribe for more. Thanks.